2 years ago, I decided to adopt a senior dog. He was 13 and he had spent 8 years of his life in a crowded shelter in the south of Italy. He was such a good boy, so affectionate, and the sad thing of this story is that he was only able to live a life of freedom, comfort, and love for 11 months because shortly after being adopted, he got sick and died. Of course, I knew that he was an older dog and he probably wouldn't have much to live, yet I could not shake off this feeling of unfairness for what his life had been. In fact, I felt a bit angry for a while. In the following year, I took trips to look after other people's dogs and cats. I fostered 2 lovely pups in my own house, and overall, I kept busy with work and projects and tried not to think about how sad I was actually feeling. And then one day, I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw this. Amongst the hundreds of dogs in my feed, this dog caught my eye. Maybe because he had the same colors of my old dog, maybe because of his silly looking ears, I decided to call the number on the post. He was about 10, he had been 3 years in the shelter, and they didn't know much of his story. When he arrived, he was skin and bones and ill with Ehrlichia, a tick-transmitted disease. The shelter was now closing, and they needed to urgently find homes for all the dogs. I cannot change the world, I cannot change how people treat animals, but I can change how one dog lives the last years of his life. So I took the plunge and decided to adopt him. Those were his first steps as a free dog, and yes, I still get emotional about it.
Minchia, quanto pesa? 45 kg la pesa. Là, c'era i mangia di meno, un culati. Quanto cazzo mangia? Veronica sorride. Però si va. Andiamo su.
The volunteers took him to a safe space where they could check that he was fit to travel, and then he was finally ready to embark to the long journey home. When we got home, he was very shy. He did not like being touched very much, so I tried giving him space. I think overall he was very overwhelmed by the change of scenery, and I think he was missing his cell companions too, and he probably thought that the silence and quietness was very strange. One thing I was surprised by is that he was very good on the leash from the start, which made me think that maybe he was somebody's dog. Another thing that I thought was interesting is that he got used to the couch super fast. The first day he was already on the couch. Normally, dogs that come out from the shelter, they might know what a couch is and they might take a little bit of time to get into the couch, but he was on it from day one. He liked being comfortable.
You smelly dog. Yes, you need a bath.
It took me a while to find a name for him. In the shelter, they had called him Rospo, which means toad, which I thought was really funny, and I could see why they called him that, because his back legs are a bit crooked. I finally decided to go with Gastone, which in English would be Gaston. which I think it fits him perfectly. From my research, this is a French hunting breed that is normally used to hunt boars and hares. They normally hunt in big packs. And Gaston definitely has that in him. I found out after he was here for a while that this breed is actually known for howling super loudly. People have told me that they can hear him from very far away. It's been very hot, so I tried seeing if he was keen on swimming, and he's not that into it, but I'm working on it.
You did well. Good job. Good job.
He's been here for 2 months and he's settling in very well. He is such a sweet boy and he's very funny too. Makes me laugh every day. Woo! Here we go again, another senior dog. Hopefully he has more time of comfortable life ahead than Vongola. He seems to be fairly healthy. He does have Ehrlichia, which is a chronic condition, but that can be managed. The vet did find a bullet on his stomach, like one of those air gun bullets. Other than that, he seems to be doing well. As you know, if you follow this channel for a while, you know that I'm very passionate about trying to make life for the dogs in the shelters a little bit better. I would say, like, we humans created this problem and it's our responsibility to solve it in whichever way we can. And I spoke about this in the video that I shared for Vongola, but if you haven't seen that video, if you're new, then I'll explain a little bit how shelters work in the south of Italy. I say the south of Italy because that's where there's a higher concentration of dogs. There's just so many dogs because of a lot of different reasons, but the shelters, they get money from normally the councils to care for the stray dogs, but they get the money simply to give them low quality food and clean their cages. That's it. If the dog is in pain, is injured, it has an illness, the shelter isn't very incentivized in taking them to the vet because it's an extra cost to them, extra time. And so the dogs are basically left to suffer and to die alone in their cages. And also the shelters, they get money per dog, per day. So they actually incentivized in having full shelters. And so they don't really care whether the dogs get adopted or not. They don't do any adoption activity because they don't care. They just care about, getting bank. So there's an army of angel volunteers, truly, that get access to those shelters, and they take any animal that is in need of medical care to the vet. They pay for surgeries, which, as you know, can be very expensive. They do blood analysis if it's needed, anything that they feel like it's needed for the well-being of the dogs. And those people are not rich, and they often pay themselves for the bills. They put themselves in financial stress, or they try and do fundraisers with people that they know locally to, raise the money. But as you can imagine, it's very rough for them. They go in as well and do all the adoption activities since the shelters don't do it. And they go in and they take the pictures of the dogs. They look what kind of, character they have. They put them online. They filter through adoption requests. They do the checks. They organize the transport. They do all of this, which takes a huge amount of time. I can tell you because I marginally worked. I have done it in the past. I say work, but it's all volunteering work. And yes, they don't get anything out of it other than knowing that the dogs are going to a good home. So I thought that we could try and raise some money for those volunteers that looked after Gaston. My idea is to pay directly the bill that they have at the vet because as I said, they take the dogs there and then often they don't have the money to pay, so the vet is very kind and still does it, but then he needs to be paid. So I was thinking we could clear that bill, and also I would like to ship directly materials to them. So I will be buying the drugs or anti-flea treatments, anything, and then ship it directly to the volunteer. And the anti-flea treatment is something else that is very important. You might think, oh, it's just anti-fleas. It's very important because in the south of Italy especially, you can get Ehrlichia and Leishmania, which are chronic disease that they're uncurable basically. They can be managed, but if a dog contracts one of those diseases, they're doomed basically, because already it's hard for them to get adopted if they are adult dogs. If they already have a known illness, it's much less likely that they're gonna get adopted. So those volunteers also go in and give anti-flea treatments to the dogs, because the shelters most often don't do that. If we have any extra funds, I will send those to SOS Adozioni Calabria, which is the association that dealt with Vongola adoption. If you follow them on Instagram, you will see that they actually we have improved the lives of those dogs in the shelters, because they have added water autofilling bowls and shading areas, and we actually have truly in practice made the lives of those dogs better, and we have made a difference. Obviously, you can imagine vet bills are very expensive, so even a good chunk of money doesn't last very long when you have sick dogs all over the place. But yes, I will leave the fundraising page over here. As usual, I will always share all the receipts. I will ask as well the volunteers to share videos on when they receive the packages and when they put the anti-flea treatments on, and that's going to be in the page, or I could share on YouTube as well. You can also find the previous fundraisers and see where the money has gone. I've always been very transparent, and to me it's very important that you know that the money is going directly to them. And yeah, Gaston has gone to lay down on the sun. He's been a handful, I'm not gonna lie. It's so cool that we were able to do what we did last time for Vongola, and I am so proud of it, of the community, if you want to call it like that, and just so grateful that you all get it, and that honestly you give a shit, because it's very easy to become desensitized when so much horrible stuff are happening in the world, and the fact that people give a shit and still try and better things, it gives me a little bit of hope. I'm gonna start crying, so I'm gonna end it here. The fundraiser is below and Gastone is gone. You will see him on another video. Okay, bye!